Welcome back to Tales of Yavard. We are a Mythcraft TTRPG podcast, and this is our first campaign, The Sea's Tale. I am our Mythcrafter, Corey Griffin, and with me today I have Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm playing Duggan Lafite and also Goron Stormclaw.
Joey.
What's going on, guys? I'm Joey, and I play Ussuri Urkuni and Larissa Mordai.
Kobe.
Hey, it's Kobe, and I play Mia. How you doing? And let's see the Grove of Stories.
And last but not least, we got Jesse.
Hey, I'm Jesse, and I'm playing Shiro King and Zephyr.
On the last time of Tales of Yavard, the crew worked towards getting off of the island and setting sail for new destinations, but not before stopping and having a few conversations over the political strife happening on the island. Stay tuned to find out what happens now.
Esmeralda looks at you all and says, "Who are you to decide what a ruined city is?"
Well, personally, I think that's a very easy statement to determine what a ruined city is. I mean, I think any prudent person could determine that. You have things like, an orphanage. If the orphanage is not being looked after, then the city is failing. You have taverns. If people are just going to taverns and stealing the booze, then that's a ruined city. If the city guard are taking bribes from criminals, that's a ruined city. I think it's easy to determine what is ruined and what is not. My point in wanting certain individuals in charge is based purely off of my faith that they will not ruin this city. If you think that you all can run this council and not ruin the city, I mean, it sounds like it is very much up to this council to do that, as you've mentioned with the trading and merchants and the guards and all of such. If it takes the group of you to revive the city, to make it something good again, to make it something where people want to live, want to be, want to spend their money, that's not a ruined city. And for me to determine that it's less about me as an individual and more as me just being a prudent individual. Somebody like you could step into anyone's proverbial shoes and understand this because it's common understanding.
Until very recently, most of the things that you described as a ruined city were not happening. We had people someone taking care of our orphanage. I don't think anyone is willing to attempt to steal from the taverns. The guards and their payment, that was definitely an issue before.
Ussuri would kind of give a low grin. It is my understanding that although there was an orphanage caretaker, she was not taking care of the children. She was sacrificing them to a demon underneath the orphanage. The taverns, people don't want to steal from the taverns because they'd be stealing from the most renowned and vile pirate group there is. The warden was extorting people for their magical items, for benefits in the prison. You can't tell me none of that is not ruined. It's all ruined. It was all being taken advantage of. And, well, the family is to blame for that mostly, for allowing it to happen, for Mason to allow that to happen. And, well, you see what happened to Mason by our hand, because I have taken the vow to restore the family back to its former. I don't want to say glory, because that's not the right phrasing for it, but to its foundation. The family is derived in order to help cities thrive, to help kingdoms thrive, not rule them with an iron fist, not run a criminal enterprise. That's not how it's supposed to be. And that's how it won't be. And if it takes me finding each family member one by one by one, I will do it. And if I happen to hear that this city continues its vile corruption, if I hear that there's a continuation of the city being ruined, we may have to have a repeat of this conversation. You may end up as Mason. Do I want that? No, because I don't want people to be vile. I don't want people to be corrupt. Nobody should want that. Nobody should want to get up on the backs of other people because they're taking advantage of them. That's wrong. And any normal person would understand that.
I believe it will be the Kleppen that speaks up. And he says, the news of the orphan sacrifices is news. That is not something we have heard before.
Gee, I wonder why you haven't heard it before. Because people don't want people to know there are children being sacrificed to demons.
I think it might say a little something that people who have just arrived within a few days have to have bribed guards to simply say step foot on the island. We have then had to see our friends nearly die to they tried to save your people from. I mean, you say all these things that not ruined and happening, but we've been here for only a few days and had to have liberated your people from corrupt. So, while maybe your city is not ruined, it has been in a ruin for at least enough time. We are not able to step foot on it without it shoved in the face.
I am not saying that the city is not in dire need of assistance, of help. We are just saying that we want to be here in this room when the changes happen.
And I don't see a problem with that. The question that I have is, are you going to help the city? I mean, you said it yourself that it needs assistance, yes? Are you going to be somebody who helps? Or are you going to be somebody who takes advantage of the power hole, the hole that needs to be filled, however you want to say it? Are you going to continue the corruption? Are you going to continue the ruin? Or are you going to be somebody who helps fix it? That's all of you at this table right now.
I think at this point, again, the Kleppen will keep talking. As he will say, I don't see why we cannot both help the city and have benefits from being a part of it by being the person that steps in. Obviously, there's a difference between it being a beneficial position and it being a corrupt one.
I don't disagree. So my statement stands. Are you going to help the city, or are you going to get rich off of the back of the city?
Oh, I fully plan on helping the city.
Okay. There's the answer. Mr. Trokin, what is your answer?
I plan to see the city grow and thrive past what it has been over the last few years.
Miss Esmeralda, was it?
The city itself is just walls and roofs. I want to see the people do better. And I'm going to help them do that.
My only argument to what you've just said is that although there may be walls and roofs in a city, that's not what makes the city. It is the people that make the city, which is why I don't want to see it in ruins. So I like your answer. You're advocating for the people. That answers the question.
Betterment of the people. Not necessarily for the people, but the betterment therein.
The sentiments
seems
is
like-
there. Then Ussuri
then.
would
Sorry, go ahead.
Ussuri would address the Brunei on the opposite end of the table.
So I think Mother Jade would be the first one that speaks up and is like, yes, of course I want to help the city. I don't necessarily believe that the city can continue the way that it goes now. If it does, it's just going to turn into either chaos or a military state. Mother Lapis will speak up and be like, I also want to see the city do well. The crime in the last day and a half has actually drastically increased. 3 different people tried to break into my shop.
Goran immediately like, was any of them us?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No, we've been busy.
Yeah.
In the last day and a half, you guys have actually
I know.
been like relatively good. There
Goran
hasn't
is
been-
always good.
Although we
sir.
did let children get tattoos, so how good is good?
They're
They're
not
like
children.
17.
It was been
We
It
did
has
establish
been
that. You are correct.
made
We did
very clear they
establish
are
that
adults and they are
they
capable
are-
of making their own decisions.
teenagers.
They are. They
We
are
all were like
teenagers,
talking
yes.
about it, and then we were like, "Oh wait, they're Kleppins. Nah, they're good. We're chill. Don't even worry about it."
And then
Um,
Ussuri gestures at the last Brunei.
And do you
I
think
good.
Lesh would lean to one of the others and it seems that they view the city as an investment property and not as a city that people need to live in. And I don't know if that would be to Goron or to Zephyr. I don't know how we're sitting, but he's just.
It's Shiro that's here.
Oh no, it is Shiro. I forgot. Sorry. Oh, then probably Shiro actually, if he could, because he's been talking the shit with Shiro a few times. So I think he would probably whisper that to Shiro.
What you rolling for?
To see if certain individuals would have heard that.
Oh, I mean, I'm trying to like make it be small talk. If you want me to roll opposed.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, what do we? That just straight like
Just roll a
Evening?
d20 and see first.
Be a dexterity, right?
I'm thinking either charisma or luck.
Charisma makes sense.
Or awareness, I guess.
I wouldn't say charisma only or luck only because he's being intentional about talking quietly.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
my
Lesh does
only
have
2
some
cents.
hidden manner, but
If you have gossiping,
say-
that might help.
I would say some kind of int or charisma.
roll 20.
Propose your skill and we'll talk about
I
it.
have entertaining. I have deceiving.
I think I like deceiving more than entertaining if I'm choosing between those two.
Do you
I
have
always have to
gossiping?
try with it though. I always have to try with entertaining. You know that.
Like if you were trying to
but-
be loud, sure. But trying to be quiet, entertaining,
yeah, I'll do
He's
deceiving.
stage whispering.
He's trying to very specifically entertain only Shiro.
I mean, you definitely destroyed my role. So
That's why I was like, just
Little
roll a
19.
d20 and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
I just want to show out the fact I can lie now because last time I needed to lie, Lesh could not because I didn't have deceiving because I forgot to take it. But now we do, boys. Let's go.
That's funny.
I don't think Shiro would audibly respond, but he would definitely, while keeping, his eyes focused on everybody else, he would definitely kind of nod in a, not really disappointed, but just in like like an agreement, of he feels mostly the same, slightly different, but mostly the same. Trying to convey that with a nod over a recording, though, is difficult.
and the last burn I will say, I fully intend to change the city and make it a better place for people to live and to work and to exist in.
Ussuri then looks to what is the dude's name that we established to go into the mayoral position?
Yeah, you
don't.
you want to hear the really fucking fucked up part?
You
I think we've
don't
just
have
called him
one
the
for
mayor.
him.
Can't find it.
We've just been
I
calling him
had
the mayor.
one. I had one for him, and I have said it before on recording, but I can't find it.
Dave.
Dave.
I'm just him who's been the mayor.
Ussuri then looks to our friend. And what is it that you say about all of this?
I say that last time when I attempted to join to become the mayor myself, I ran on a for the people type campaign, and I still believe in the messages that I proclaimed at that time. That the manpower that we were using for guards was too much, and that we needed to have better places for people to be. So yes, I plan on change and not bettering myself on the backs of others.
After everyone has heard what everybody else has said, does anybody have issues with another individual or the words they said?
Don't think I have a problem with any one individual. I worry that certain groups, more than others, have goals that may not necessarily align. And I just worry that though a council is formed with multiple people, how do we make sure that that council stays on equal footing of people who care for equal things and equal parts of the city? Because the city does need to grow, and it does need to have a market and financial growth, but it also needs to have people that are cared for. And all of these are important parts and aspects that you care for, but how do we make sure that that stays the plan and that not the bits of tempting and corruption lead into the other part? How do we keep each other accountable outside of?
My question back to you. This will be Stonk, the One Bear and I. Who else should be represented? If you're saying that there are others that should be here, who are they?
I think you need to have a representative that is not. I want there to be a representative that is not just a merchant, because while you all want the city to prosper and you want the people to prosper, you want them to prosper because then that's your prosperous. You don't want them to prosper simply so that they can be happy. You just want more money in your pockets because more money in their pockets is more money in your pocket. I feel concerned that we will just only be a better place for rich people. That is what the problem with the city was before. It is why so many people resorted to thievery and crime, because there was not a representative of the lower class. There was not a representative of the people just doing mundane jobs. And so we had to do what we had to do to survive.
Stonk will respond on this one. There are people sitting here that have resorted to probably equal or worse things than most others in the city.
Just because you have done bad things in bad times doesn't mean you understand the common folks' struggle. It does not mean you understand why the guards need to bribe people to make it by, feed their families. Not understand why people need to steal toys in the night and leave them at the orphanage. So no, I do not think just because you have people who have been through struggle means you have hears everybody's voices. You say there's problem with the word.
I think the motives are different as well. The reason you resort to horrible things, was it for power or survival?
Was because I was hungry. The reason I resorted, and he starts getting a little adamant at this point, the reason I resorted to doing the things that I did was because I went 14 days without eating while I was living in the street.
I can understand this. I and
So
many
please
others of this city understand this.
do not assume that all of us come from a single background.
Oh, I would not assume that.
You just did.
I know two others, because he's familiar with the two
Jane
ladies.
Latin? Yeah.
Yeah, he's familiar with them pretty well, right? And I got the impression from them that they genuinely want to help.
Yeah. I mean, and Shiro would know, and probably more than anyone, some of the lengths that Mother Jade and Mother Lapis went through. Yeah. There's a reason that they have that honorific throughout the city.
That's definitely the impression that I got from that. So, and that's why this response. I would not assume that. I know two of these here very well. They have gone out of their way to help others and to improve the city. I do not know everyone here, but the impression I got from this meeting in general was that two groups were against each other and wanting to take control of the city and have it their way.
I feel this will be Stonk who speaks up now. I feel anytime there is as big of a vacuum as Mason left, there will be groups that attempt the reconstruction in their own way.
And all we are here to do is make sure that the reconstruction isn't just in any one group's way. It should be in the way that benefits everyone.
Can you Ussuri roll a perceiving check to try, or intuiting, to try to gauge how everyone like genuinely answered? I mean, if you want me to roll one for each individual, I will, but
give me one, and depending on that result, we might keep it, or I might be nice and let you re-roll for each one.
24.
Damn.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you re-roll for everyone. I'll give them to you.
Dude, I did not expect that at all.
Me.
I'm okay with that.
Right now, bro.
I was a 19 on the dice.
Hell
Yeah. They were being realistic. They were being truthful. Some of them less so than others. Obviously, everyone has their own motivation for why they are here. You, especially with a couple of the outbursts, mostly from
The
Marv.
Brunei squad.
Well, no, the outburst was coming from the Kleppen mostly.
Oh. Okay.
What's his name again?
Marv.
Marv. Is he the one that was talking about resorting to things and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of like him now.
Yes, he was the one that was like, I did it because I was hungry.
Yeah.
But like obviously they all have something that they want to push. They all have something that they care about more than others. They all want to help the city in their own way. I do need to do one roll real quick. Okay. No one outright lied. Though it did seem like Esmeralda was holding a lot more back than most of the others.
Feel bad. Goran has said nothing this entire meeting.
Does Goran want to say anything?
He's waiting for an opportune moment where it would make sense for him to say something.
That's how I felt with Shiro. That's why he only
Yeah.
just chimed in recently.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to hijack the conversation.
No,
here.
not at all.
No.
It's truly just me trying to be like, okay, would Goran say something here? I don't think so, and the moment's gone. Moving on.
Yeah, I think in these moments, it like Ussuri definitely leads these conversations for us because it is kind of so dealing with the family and stuff like that, and the other
Yeah.
ones they support Ussuri in his endeavor with this a lot of the way, but I think they're definitely more his moment of talking where they'd be like, and we also this.
And we also
Yes,
agree with
and.
Ussuri. Yeah.
We're your yes and partners to Ussuri's monologues in these moments, but I think it works well.
Gassing him up.
So, after Ussuri kind of gauges everything that everyone has said, I do think that the groups that are represented here provide strengths in their ways, and there is enough representation, I feel, that goes around that there are checks and balances. I mean, there are very many of you who are in it for the people. There are others who are in it for the betterment of the economy, which is important. I mean, if you're a businessman, or woman, your goal is to make money. A city does need that. Make no mistake. Although, yes, you may be motivated by investment, by profit, by making the city a better financial outlet. But those are benefits at the end of the day. And I think there's enough representation that won't necessarily become unchecked. Because although, yes, profit is good, yes, a booming economy is good, that is what has the ability to become corrupt if left unchecked and unbalanced. And I think this group here is, I assume that y'all have volunteered for these positions and you've had representation of your various groups. I think it is something that you can all manage. After hearing everything everyone has said, I feel confident that I can leave the city knowing there's a good chance you won't send it back into ruin. You may ask, who am I to give you my blessing? I'm nobody, other than somebody who just wants to see people happy. I'm not telling you that you should. Great, you're all the council of the city. Good for you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is something you all wanted, and I think we can make it work, or you can make it work.
The Trollkin will speak up and say, I agree. We can make it work. It is good to hear that there are still people who worry so much about the happiness of others.
That is what the family should be. That is what I am going to restore the family to be. Those who worry about the happiness of the people. Those who worry about the happiness of the others. Those who will do what is needed to maintain the happiness of people as a whole.
Is there any other thing that you are wanting to address in this conversation?
I am curious where we landed on the mayor falling into this as part of the council. So far, I see an even number of people, and that makes me worry about things falling into argument and not getting fixed because nobody can agree on anything, and there's an even number of people.
There's an odd number of people. The mayor spoke his piece. He talked
Is
about.
he actually going to be a
Yeah,
part
he's
of
the.
the?
Yeah, it's the 6 of them plus him.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
cut
that was
then.
the
I forgot.
proposal for the council from the beginning. Was
Yeah.
the three merchants, the other three, which are the Brunei, and the mayor was put
Okay.
into that.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be, two groups warring against each other of even numbers.
No. No, the mayor was included in the plan the whole time. He was just freaking out about it because he's like, "Oh, well, there's 6 merchants. They're all going to gang up against me and I have nothing to do." But
See,
I mean, we've heard
that
from
was
at
the last
least
thing I remembered.
Yeah, we heard
I
from
didn't
at
realize
least
they'd accepted
4
him.
people that other than him who are, they have a soft spot for the people in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that he was actually going to be
Yeah.
on the council.
Yeah, he's got a
That's-
representation.
Okay.
Unless he doesn't after we leave the island, but that's not our problem anymore. I don't particularly have anything else to add. Except, so Ussuri was never sitting down, by the way. He was always standing up. Is there anybody in the chair that's in front of him?
No, there's not.
Okay. So Ussuri will push the chair to the side, put both hands palm down on the table, and look at each person individually, starting with Mother Jade, Mother Lapis. Stonk is the other one, right? The other Brunei? Or
Yes.
Stonk the troll. Okay. And then he'll look at Marf, and then the Trollkin. And then he will look at Esmeralda longer than anyone else. As long as you all do what is right for the city and for the people in the city, because that is who the real city is, I don't think you will have any issues. And then if no one else has anything to say, congratulations, you are all the new council.
I did have a thought, but I don't know that Shiro would be the one to bring it up because he's not as tied into this side of things. If Zephyr was here, he'd bring it up. The Windwalker presence may be problematic to this city. Now that there is a power vacuum and a brand new thing, I mean, they already committed huge atrocities, wiping out a bunch of other people. What's to stop the Windwalkers from just being like, yeah, this is ours now?
Us fucking up their shit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the plan,
But
I
when we're
think,
not
is
there.
to. Well, that's the thing, is the plan is from here to go to Saga and wreck their shit,
Yeah,
which is
I just
going
worry that
to
they might have
cause
already
problems.
spread the word that, hey, some shit just happened over here. Let's all go there.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Shiro would be the one to bring it up, so it doesn't. It's not something that would cross his mind.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think the issue is that for me, I don't know that Goron saying anything would really add to the conversation at this point. Because the way to avoid the city falling into ruin again is to make sure that this council keeps, keeps power balanced and keeps the interests of everybody in the city balanced so that no group falls like behind another, because that's where the problems start, or no group gets ahead of the others, right? Because that's where the problems start. But it seems like they're already doing that. So I think he's fine to just let things run.
And other than the stare down that is happening, Lesh, do you have anything that you want to say?
Hmm. I don't. And like trying to gather his final thoughts. I don't know if I think he might just like let this one process and have some thoughts to talk about afterwards, but not necessarily in the meeting.
Okay.
Does a menacing check feel appropriate here? Like, my idea for the stare down against Esmeralda in particular is Ussuri knowing that she withheld information. She wasn't lying, but wasn't entirely truthful with what she gave up. So my idea is the stare down is, hey, I know that that like a lot of these people like poured their heart out. You didn't. I don't want to like threaten her. I just want to like make sure that she knows like
Yeah, you
come
want to
on.
give her the black hand we know letter in the form of a stare down.
I don't want menacing to come across to everybody as like I'm trying to threaten her. Now, at the same time, I did say like if we catch wind that it's going south, we'll be back.
Right. Which, I mean, is threatening in and of itself.
Yes, that was intended for the entirety of the group, though. This is specifically her.
Go ahead and give me the roll. I'm not super for
I
it. or
cannot give a
against it.
roll, right? I'm also okay not rolling either.
Um,
Like I
after a
don't
one,
necessarily have an end goal for the roll per
right.
se.
After a few minutes of staring at her, Esmeralda will level you. Not level you, but meet your eyes with a devastating glare. As she says, I hope that through helping the city and through helping everyone, we will all achieve a level of strength and competency that will allow us to not have to rely on someone like you coming in to remove our threats.
And I think with that, Suri just nods approvingly.
Can't decide if I want to say the thing I'm thinking or not.
Say the weird thing.
Do it. Fuck it.
Or roll a dice. One you say it, two you don't.
Luck roll. Yeah. God, that's so unhelpful.
Roll a d2. On a 1, you say it. On a 2, you don't.
Or a D4 and do 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's
Yeah.
faster.
Okay. It's a 1.
Say it.
Gotta say it.
Okay, so she said, relying on people like us to deal with their threats, and Shiro would respond to that with, "It's less that people like us have to deal with threats against you and your people. It's more that people like you tend to become the threats to the rest of the people. And then people like us have to step up to deal with it.
I think you misunderstand what I said. What I said was, I hope to encourage people to have the strength to be able to do what you did. Not that we would have to rely on outside help.
I agree with that. That the people should be able to look out for themselves and their own well-being as a community and not as a collection of individuals.
If I would put this out for the most part, what do you see? And she's talking to the group as the pillars that truly need direct governing.
The group isn't us.
Yeah. Most of us have differing opinions on this. I believe that the responsibilities of everything should be divvied up between the council. I believe that there are roughly 7 things that we could break things into. 7 categories, if we would. What is your all's opinion since you're here? Help us end a debate.
I think Goron's getting flashbacks to lessons his mom tried to teach him, and he's starting to panic internally. I didn't pay enough attention. Oh, dear.
What are the 7 things?
Well, that's what she's asking us.
I want to hear what her 7 things are. She said, "I believe there's 7 things." I want to hear what those 7 things are.
Okay, so this is what she's going to say. The 7 things that I believe need to, what I would see as the 7 pillars of society are commerce, communication, law, matters of state, treasury, welfare of the people, and war.
So is she asking our opinion on who should run or who should pay
She's-
attention to what pillar?
She's asking
Well-
what we think the 7 pillars should be.
I mean, I am not a politician. I am not studied in law. I think the things that you just named are good pillars. I mean, I have not studied law in the sense of, outside of the common knowledge. I mean, I have kind of a brief understanding of how governments work. You kind of do that in the family. But ultimately, I don't necessarily have a professional opinion on that. But I think the matters that you are addressing are very important matters to look into and to maintain.
She almost looks around at everyone, almost with a smile.
Anybody looking at Goran sees him thinking really hard.
He's sweating.
A little bit. It's like counting on his fingers, trying to remember the things that his mom taught him.
Can I, just for shits and giggles, not that I think it's going to go real well, can I roll a law check?
Sure.
That's what I thought. It's a 5. My statement stands. This is not the kind of law that he knows.
I'm curious, how would you divvy these things up? Would each person be in charge of one thing? And who decides who is going to do what job?
I believe it. The Trollkin speaks. I believe it would be better for each of us to take one of the pillars. And we would probably assign one, see if anyone particularly wanted one of the jobs, and have a conversation between individuals if there was more than one person that put forward for it. And then as a council, vote yes or no.
I think it may be better to assign 2 pillars to each person. As the adage goes, 2 brains are better than 1. And then those 2 individuals go to the council to say what they believe they should go for, and then the council vote on that. Again, that goes back into the checks and balances that you're trying to establish. You have 2 people work on each pillar.
But wouldn't that lead to a possibility of, if each of us have 2, obviously we will have one that we share with one individual and one that we share with another? Would we not then use one attempt to manipulate someone else using that second pillar that we are also a part of? For example, I know, Esmeralda, you are highly pushing to be the pillar of war. But if you are also the pillar of commerce, that could lead to quite a bit of a problem.
I think then it is you as a council need to decide whether that person is trying to be manipulative or not. I mean, it comes down to everybody has their strong suits. And again, I am a person who is not of studied law. That is just my opinion. If you all decide that you wish to individually take a pillar and then bring the results, I guess maybe the way to say it, to the council for a vote, If that is what you all decide, that is what you all decide.
I believe that each member of the council should take one of these pillars, because every one of these pillars would need assistance through at least two other pillars as well.
I think then that achieves what my thought process is on
For
on
example,
assignment
you know, war will need both, you know, the state and the treasury and communication, even to a point. To be able to function, to hire people, to have guards, to do what needs done under what that covers, and state and law to make regulations. I do believe that with those 7 pillars, we will be able to create a decent amount of checks and balances.
If that is what you foresee, then I am not the one to argue.
All right, I have my answer to your question.
Yes.
It's
He
been a
speaks.
while, and my apologies. Lessons with my mother are not always on the forefront of my mind. I believe, if I remember her lessons correctly, the 7 important areas of responsibility the government should maintain for its people are agriculture, trade, law, knowledge, religion, healthcare, and defense.
What? You said agriculture,
Yes,
trade,
indeed.
law,
Yes.
religion,
Mhm.
healthcare, and
Yes.
defense.
And knowledge. Or learning.
What were their 7 pillars?
Welfare, war, commerce, law, state, treasury, and communication.
I think
Pretty
those
close.
line up pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
one that doesn't have an almost direct 1-to-1 is agriculture.
But that almost goes under commerce because this isn't necessarily an agricultural
It
economy
it's kind of
either.
commerce, kind of welfare at the same time.
True.
Yeah.
Because it's
But again, this, his mom helped
Yeah.
run countries and stuff. So this
Yeah.
is
This is even a higher level than they're actually talking.
right. Exactly.
Yeah, my understanding is their economy is based around the lumber mill.
I would also imagine fishing, considering they're a port town,
Yeah.
which is probably the closest to agriculture they're going to get.
Is this the
Right.
only town on the island?
Yes.
That is established like this, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I mean their economy is solely based on their ability to provide lumber and trade
Mhm.
from being a port
And-
town. So
And magic items.
and whatever they
Yeah.
were getting from Colmark Lock.
which is an ingredient for a particular potion.
Yeah.
So like trade was their lifeblood. So with what is kind of funny is a lot of the bigger ones can be broken down into, or like broken up into one or two of the ones that they came up with.
Yeah.
The biggest one that doesn't, like I said, agriculture knowledge kind of mixes weirdly with communication.
Yeah. It's like the dissemination of information and stuff.
Mhm.
I was going to say either that or that would kind of fall under welfare as well, of making sure they're learned and able to understand the world at large.
Yeah.
I feel like welfare is kind of like just making sure they're able to take care of themselves.
Which inevitably is what the healthcare would fall
Yeah.
under.
Yeah,
So
so
I-
religion and religion/spirituality, which is like mental, spiritual, religious, like well-being, and then healthcare is like their physical bodies.
Which I did roll both of those together when I came up with welfare.
I think so. Outside of character, not that I want to take away from what Goran said. Outside in players talking, I think the list that they came up with is pretty
It's probably
on par
better
with.
fit. Yeah.
It fits their niche
Yeah.
with
Yeah, I
also
agree with
the
that. I
fundamentals.
feel like I'm a little concerned about that war section
Right.
because it feels very aggressive the way she's wanting it.
And Goran
And
said defense on purpose.
yeah, yep. I was like, I like defense better than war, and
Yeah, because that's
I
the
don't
way his
want her.
mother would have taught it
I
as well.
I wouldn't want it to be too focused on war. That should be
Yeah.
Yeah.
focused on not being in war.
Yeah, that's the only person I have an issue with is her.
It's Esmeralda.
Yeah.
And Corey's doing that shit on purpose. Corey knows what
Yep.
he's getting into. She is definitely the problem child. But honestly,
I feel like there's enough balance with the rest of them to deal with her.
there's 6 other people there. They're either gonna figure it out or she's gonna ruin the city. We're not gonna be here for us to find out until we find out.
Yeah.
And by the time we find out, we're gonna have to clean up a mess.
Maybe. I hope not.
I mean, she also very much said, I want to empower the people to be able to
Yeah.
clean up their
Yeah.
own mess. Like to clean up any messes.
Yeah, like I definitely liked some of the things she was saying. It's just that then there's other things that are like, you've got a vibe.
I don't like that she smiled at everybody around the table when saying
Like she won something.
we should assign 7 pillars, one to everybody. I want war. I mean, she didn't say it. Fucking the Trollkin called her out on it. So, which as a player gives me hope that they recognize where she's trying to go with this, and that they can, if there's any malice hidden in there, that they will be able to address that and fix it.
We're gonna
We'll
have to
see.
trust that they can. Yeah.
And
That's on
again,
them to
right,
figure out.
this is beyond us. The only way that we make sure that this city stops from falling into chaos and ruin is to stay here. And if we do that, well, shit, we might as well end the campaign.
Shiro,
Yeah.
Yes.
there is a chance that I might give you some more information on Esmeralda. I need an intellect check.
I was gonna say, what's her background?
Intellect. Neither of the skills I have.
Because this
are
could
gonna work
be
for that.
like she used to be like head of the city guard or something and got ousted, and so she's salty about it. Because the family came in, kicked her out of her spot, and then we came in and kicked the family out of its spot, and so now she's kind of concerned about that. Or she's like a black market dealer or something like that.
Could I submit awareness instead, just because it's better?
No.
Yeah. evading and wood carving aren't going to help here. So intellect.
Not
Oh,
bad.
hell yeah. 17.
With a 17. Esmeralda runs one of, if not the biggest, mercenary guild in the Tahul Islands.
I wasn't
That-
right, but I also wasn't too
it's-
far off. Gonna slide them contracts her own way.
You also know that, like, she was born here in Mayev and then left and built up her guild and then came back. That being said, if anyone was going to understand how to train and establish a guard or an army or a group of people that are assigned to deal with corruption, it's probably going to be at this table. It's probably going to be Esmeralda.
Would I know anything about how to word this? Yes, she has the knowledge, and yes, that's a great resource for the
Mhm.
city and for this council. I mean, that's a fantastic resource because it's already a well-established thing, and she can begin to establish that as part of the city now. My concern is, which I think it's been covered because she's, talking about empowering the people. Do I get the feeling she actually wants to empower the people, or do I get the feeling that the city is just going to be a new source of empowering her mercenary guild? Because yes, it's a great resource, but if she's taking that resource, increasing the mercenary guild, and then accepting more contracts, and now instead of it just being this mercenary guild who's accepting contracts and doing things, instead now it's the city is going and starting wars and picking fights and being a part of other people's wars. That harms the people. That gives the city a reputation.
Okay.
Is she a warmonger, or is she just a person
does not
who's
have-
knowledgeable?
She does not have the reputation of being a warmonger.
Okay. That's fine then. Yeah, he's fine with that.
I saw this in an anime one time. An arms
So
dealer.
many things.
An arms dealer basically took it upon herself to create a giant EMP to reset society.
That was not my intention. That is not what I'm trying to do. Inspiration from a different anime, actually, but
oh, fuck.
it's all good. But yeah, no, that's what Shiro will know. She doesn't have a reputation for being a warmonger. She also does have a reputation for being strict with her mercenaries' code and ethics.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I would have forgotten until later to ask that, but that is very important. They're not known for being brutal.
They are effective,
Now I want to know what anime she's from.
but they are not brutal.
They do their job and they do it well, which means not harming people that aren't supposed to be harmed.
That is accurate.
Okay.
And if they do, she is known for very rough retribution.
Good. I like her now.
We call her Geneva instead of Esmeralda.
No.
Geneva's Conventions of War.
No.
What is the name of the mercenary guild?
Where I would like to end this episode, if you all are actively leaving,
Yep.
is just a zoom out shot of them starting to discuss who is going to be in charge of what pillar and what those pillars are capable of. I'm not going to get into it yet on who is what. It's just these 7 people having a conversation on how to move the city forward as you all move out into the city.
Does Ussuri put the chair back?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is where we're going to end today's episode.
Thank you for listening to episode 61 of Tales of Yvard. We hope you enjoyed listening, and we would love it if you let us know. Catch us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok under Tales of Yvard Podcast. That's Y''VARD. We have a link to the link tree are in the episode description. If you really enjoyed the episode, give us a rating on whatever podcatcher you use. Tell your friends and spread the word. And join the Discord. We do a lot of stuff on Discord.